Hi, I'm Flip Webster, actually Flynn Webster, and tomorrow, July 19th, I have a proud opportunity to serve as commissioner for the Community Action Partnership in the town of Rubidoux Village in the area of Rupa Valley. Now, the reason why I'm out here in Rubidoux Valley, in the Rupa Valley area, is that I wanted to have a talk about the actual role of commissioner for the Community Action Partnership. You know, the role of commissioner and the role of Community Action Partnership really isn't about giving out free things and making sure that everybody has something for free. I don't know how to put that. The role of Community Action Partnership was created in 1964 under the LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson administration, as a war against poverty. And it took all the way until 1971 that the actual NACAA, National Committee for Community Action, took place, where a group of community action organizations throughout the nation got together and did a war on poverty. Now, what you'll find out is that at that time, from the 1960s to the 70s, you'll find out that the war on poverty actually was won. And it was reported in basically around 1973, after the NACAA was actually created, that the war was actually won. The levels had went down, and they were sustainable until maybe about the beginning of the 80s, which would bring us really close to here. Well, right now it's 2021, and we're in one of the state of California's youngest cities, which would be the city of Rupa Valley. And we're in a nation right now where poverty has actually spiked up to the same levels that they did in the 1960s. So what Community Action Partnership promise is to change lives. And how it's supposed to be able to change lives is through empowering community action. In other words, organizations that had their feet on the ground and looking at what's going on in their community and reporting it. And this is what it takes, because it's not about just let's look at it this way. If in 1964 the war against poverty was actually really won, then why is it in 2021 we're still fighting? Why is it that there's an election that is based upon, you got to understand this, the election for Community Action Commissioner is based upon low income. It has nothing to do with all the regular people out here that are making big bank and all the rest of this good stuff. This is a specific election for a specific group of people so that they are uplifted and removed. We want to remove poverty from America, and we specifically want to remove poverty from this district. And removing poverty from this district is going to take a lot more than just free giveaways, because free giveaways doesn't work. When I posted on my page, if you take a look at it, I posted, they had the 9 points to reduce poverty. One of the points was talking about an immigration policy. I don't want to get political on this, but I don't agree with everything that they wrote. And out of the 9 points, would you believe that education was not listed as one of them? Education was not listed as one of them. And yet we live in a country that has to outsource jobs to so many nations because we're not training our citizens to be able to handle the high-paying wage jobs that we have available here now. That's a part of community action. That's a part of being able to have a voice that speaks not only to the federal government and the local city, but to the actual school boards and the people who live amongst us. And this is what's so important. Because how are we going to get anything done if we don't have a voice? How are we going to get anything done if it's just the big guys always making the decisions for us? Yeah, we're going to put up another warehouse. We're going to just warehouse the hell out of Rubidoux. We're going to put up another warehouse. We're just going to warehouse everything in Rubidoux. That's how we're going to do it. We're just going to have jobs for today. That's it. But we're not going to have a long-term plan to be able to not only make this town a major player in the country, but to make this town sustainable for generations. You shouldn't have to grow up in a town and be planning to leave it because of the fact that you cannot sustain yourself in the city that you were born and raised in. You shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to just, okay, well, you know what, after graduation, I'm going to move all the way to, the other side of the world because my town doesn't offer what I need. When I could actually have a town that I could bring things to this town, to bring living wages, to improve it, to make it one of the best cities in the world. And we can do this. We can do this. It's not a no-brainer. Come on now. Federal Trade and Job Association makes a list every year. I think there's about maybe 10 to 14,000. I think there's about maybe 10 to 14,000 jobs right now in this country that we have to outsource because we don't have the education. And yet we have 5 new schools in this district. Are we making communication between the cost of education, the leaders of education, the students that need to be educated, and being able to bring to this area the type of companies that pay living wages? Are we doing that? Or are we just throwing it a bone? What are we doing that's going to make a change that's going to end poverty today? Is it just, okay, we're gonna give out food? That's wonderful. We need that, and I love free stuff too. Don't get me wrong. Stimulus check, let it come. Let as many come as possible, Yeah, But the whole thing of it is, at the end of the day, what have we accomplished? In 50 years, almost 60 years, what have we accomplished to be able to have, what have we learned in 50 to 60 years about poverty that when it stems up, that we can go, you know what? We're going to eradicate that and make sure it doesn't happen again. We're going to bring all our citizens and make them go on an even keel level to bring them up. Is that what we need? Well, I think that's what we can bring. I think that's what I can bring. I think that's the type of leadership that District 2 needs. I think that's the type of leadership that I have. I've worked with some of the best people in the world. And you know what? It's not like we can't bring some of the even better economists and some of the greatest studies that we can in this area and end poverty in this area for good and change the way that we live. It doesn't have to be skyscrapers. It doesn't have to be this hustling and bustling city so that we can generate tax revenue for our district. It can be a well thought out, hand-in-hand plan with Community Action Partnership, creating a pathway to the future. And let me tell you something about pathway. Pathways take steps, and steps are kind of interesting because there's positions like this that people use as stepping stones. There's people who use things to step on you, and there's people who make steps to the future. And I believe that I'm helping to make steps for the future. Not a stepping stone, not stepping on anyone, but I believe that I'm making steps towards the future. And so tomorrow between 8 and 5, not my destiny, but our city. And if not now, then maybe later. I'll be doing this whether elected or not, because I believe in what I do. And I've been doing this without an elected seat, so, if you know me, you know me. I believe in what I believe in, and I put all my effort into it, and I put all my work into it. To be able to carry the actual seat, I'm hoping that will garner enough pull or push or whatever your platform, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to call it. I'm hoping that will do it. And if it doesn't, then, I've been doing this since I was a kid, and I haven't seen the results that I've wanted. And as an older man, you see all the silver in my hair. I want to see results. Nothing's promised. And in 2019, and in 2021, we've lost a lot of people who haven't seen what future is about to happen in this area. And in those people's honor who had belief in me, who had belief in what we were talking about, I'd like to do something. And if you would like to do something, then go to the Community Action Partnership Riverside.org/, I think it says elections, commissioner elections. It's District 2. Or, no, it actually says it's community. It's CAP Riverside.org/District 2, and you'll see the two of us. And if you can, please vote for me. My name is Flip Webster, Flinois Webster. For those of you who don't know me or who know me, but you're going to know me a lot better. And I'd like to thank you for giving me this time. If you can, pass this video on to everybody in this district. And remember, this is a very special election. This is a very special election because this election is for the poor. This election is for the poor and for the people of this community and for this area. This election, and the people who it really affects, like our gentlemen, our friends over here, they don't vote. So the people who do vote have to help our friends out, and they have to vote for them. Because we got to watch out for our neighbors. We got to watch out for other individuals. If you're tired of giving out and all the handouts and all the rest of this good stuff, you got to vote. You got to vote, and you got to put the right people in office, and you got to make sure that the right people who are going to do the job are actually there. And I'm that guy. Thank you. Talk to you later.